Thank you, Jared. Thank you so much. Uh, Guys, really quickly, everyone should have a clipboard with a pen and a pad. Is that right? Okay, great. I want all of you right now to write 2 attributes about yourself that give you confidence. Confidence. 2, yeah, Jim, we're not going there. Just 2 attributes about yourself that give you confidence. Those are 2 separate ideas. Yeah, yeah. Could be something somebody told you. Could be something you're proud about yourself. 2 things that you feel confident about yourself. Okay.
But not physical.
Anything. 2 things that be confident. Okay. Jim, let me know. Let me know when we're good. Okay, great. Could be again anything. Something somebody told you. Could be the first thing that pops into your head. Okay, cool. All right. Everyone's done. Okay, cool. Now I want you on the, okay, sit down. On the other side of this paper, let's take that paper on the clipboard and I want you to flip it. On the other side of that paper, I want you to write 1 word that describes something you may not be confident about today, but one day you'd like to be confident about this. 1 particular word. Write it in large, bold letters if you can on the opposite side of the paper. 1 word, 1 concept that you are not confident in today, but you'd like to be confident in sometime down the road. Okay? Same deal. When you're done with that, please stand. If you're still thinking, take your time. Using your computer, I see some using laptops, some using phones. I need you to open Google, the Google search bar. Okay? And and we're going to type a specific phrase into Google. Okay? I want you to type magnetic man meaning. Okay? Those 3 words in that specific order. Okay? And I want you to just hit search and tell me what it says. Okay? Leo, what does yours say? I want you to read it word for word what it says.
Magnetic man possesses an extraordinary natural ability to attract, charm, and influence people, often radiating charisma, confidence, and authenticity.
No, that's good. That's really good. That's kind of crazy because I see some different. Did we hear what Leo said there?
Yes.
Was that pretty close to what yours said?
Mine says a magnetic man poses a compelling, charismatic personality that naturally attracts, influences, and draws others towards him. Characterized by self-confidence, authenticity, and high emotional intelligence, he makes people feel valued, heard, and comfortable. These individuals often display kindness, strong positive energy, and effective communication skills.
It's pretty good, right? Jim, slide. I'm going to show you what mine said. So mine said, a magnetic man possesses an extraordinary natural ability to attract people and opportunities through charisma, confidence, and high self-awareness. He is not necessarily the loudest in the room, but rather someone whose authenticity, emotional stability, and positive presence make others feel comfortable, heard, and drawn to him. Now we're going to go through this a minute and talk about these words because a lot of these words stood out to me. Okay, first word that stood out to me is natural. What does that mean?
It just comes naturally. It's not even like he's thinking about it. It's just
Effortless. That's the word.
Here's what it means to me. It means authentic and not performative. That's natural, right? Natural is when I'm not performing, I'm being true to myself. Another word that stood out to me, or phrase rather, high self-awareness. Here's what that means to me. High self-awareness. It means you're honest and you're perceptive of what's around you, of how people see you and how you're interpreting others. That's high self-awareness. Another phrase that stood out to me, not the loudest in the room. Here's what that means to me. A magnetic man is not boisterous. He doesn't brag about himself. He doesn't need to be the center of attention. Okay? Authenticity. Authenticity. Very simply, it's fucking real, right? It's authentic. It's genuine. It's not fake, right? Emotional stability. What does that mean? It means that this guy, he's under control. He's not frantic. He's not sporadic. He's not all over the place. He's under control. Now, there's one phrase here. There's some of these words are really powerful. There's one phrase to me that really, really stood out. And that phrase, Jim, I think we have it, is a positive presence that makes others feel comfortable, heard, and drawn to him. Very powerful phrase. I'm going to break it down. Positive presence. What does that mean? Well, that to me, that means this guy is, when he shows up, there's a sense of optimism. There's no negativity. In fact, there's warmth. There's a smile. There's an element of uplifting, a positive presence, right? Now, there's a key here too that makes who feel? Makes others feel, right? So who's feeling here? It's not you, it's other people, right? Is it me or am I affecting other people? Now, I'm going to warn you. Today we're talking about the magnetic man. The magnetic man has a cousin who's really influential too, and that's the manipulative man. When you're affecting how other people feel, if you use this for a negative reason, you become manipulative. I want to teach you guys how to make people drawn to you, but I don't want to make you manipulative. I want to do it from a positive place, right? Because when you affect how other people feel, you got a lot of fucking power. So we got to make sure that when we're doing that, we're doing it in a way that uplifts them, improves their life, and we can go to bed at night knowing we're doing good things. Okay? Yeah, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say something here a little controversial. Okay, but I hope you guys give me the ability to be 100 with you, keep it 100% real with you. Okay? I see a lot of coaches and a lot of companies try to manipulate people by making them feel a certain way. Why? Because it's easy to prey on the emotions of broken people. If you ever catch a coach or a salesperson, try to make you feel a certain way, they're trying to manipulate you. Catch that. My job here is not to make you feel. I've seen a lot of guys come to these retreats. Cough. I've seen a lot of guys come to these retreats and they get into their feels and they cry and they have a whole emotional thing. And then 1 year later, I look at their seat and where are they? They quit. They're gone. And with them are their goals that they had, are the dreams that they had, are the work that they were working towards. Now, why is that? They come and go. Why is that? Well, it's because the feels, they're like simple carbs. You burn them up quick. And listen, I'm not against emotions. I'll tell you this, guys, it's okay to have emotions. Give me a hell yeah. It's okay to have emotions. Yeah. Okay, cool. Can I get a hell yeah? One more time. Can I get a hell yeah? Yeah. So we can have emotions. I'm not training robots. But my job up here is to make you think. My job up here is to make you hear. My job up here is to make you see. Because those feels, like I said, they come and they go. But knowledge is forever. Discernment is forever. Awareness is forever. Okay? Let's go back to this phrase. Positive presence makes others feel comfortable, heard, and drawn to him. Let's pick a word here. Comfortable. What does that mean? To me, when I'm making others feel comfortable, They're not threatened. They're loose. They're at ease. They're themselves. Ultimately, they're safe. Right? If I make you comfortable, I make you safe. Heard, right? I'm making others feel heard. What does that mean? It means they are acknowledged. They're understood. They have their point and I understand them. They're agreed with, right? Most people want to talk to someone and have them be heard. Hey man, I have this question. Hey, I have this situation. They want to be heard and understood and agreed with. And lastly, the reason people need to be heard is they want to be respected. If you listen to someone and you give them your direct focus, it means that you respect them. If you dismiss someone and you don't listen to them and you're in your own thing, your own head, your own agenda, you actually don't respect that person because you don't give a fuck what they have to say. You're just waiting for your turn to speak. Right? We want to be heard. Drawn to him. Magnetic man wants, it makes people drawn to him. Well, what does that mean? For our purposes here, a lot of guys, right? We want them to be, we want some, you want to meet people, we want them to be attracted to us, right? Drawn to me, that's attracted. We want them to be intoxicated by us. Man, this fucking guy, there's something about him, right? We want them to be excited about us. Man, I'm really drawn to that guy. He's just like, it's exciting. I can't quite tell what it is, but it's exciting. Lastly, something we teach here is it's adventurous. People are naturally drawn to adventure, right? You can switch the slide here, Jim, just the image. Raven, where's Raven? There she is, guys. If you haven't met, this is Raven. This is my fiance. Say hello.
Hi, Raven.
Raven's gonna be mad about this, but Raven, you're part of the speech. Here we go. This is your favorite. All right, Raven and I, it's a true story. Raven and I would go out a lot. Like Jared said, I didn't, the reason I continue to get, I think, pretty good at this is I continue to go out, date, evolve, do my thing, whatever. Raven and I go out a lot. Pause it, Jim. Raven, what happens every time we go out and from your voice, your words, when we meet groups of people, individuals, whatever, what happens? I did not prepare her on this. So what's that? Okay. And how do those people generally feel about me after? You always tell me they love me, okay? And they feel like we're like best friends, right? This was what made me think of this speech. You can go up a little bit here. Because I was like, man, how does this happen? Early in my life, I'd meet people, I'd try to connect, nothing. So I tried to figure this out because the reality is this, guys, I wasn't always like this. It wasn't just walk in, meet people, leave, and people are like, I want to hang out with Albert. In fact, it was the opposite. I was like, fuck, I hope anybody wants to hang out with me. So like I always like to do, Jared knows this about me, whenever there's a situation or something I want to figure out or a problem, I like to reverse engineer it, right? I like to work backwards. So if I became this man and I used to be something else, how did that happen? So how do we start? Okay, let's go all the way back, right? How do we all start? With our factory brand programming, right? You're born and you're a child, right? And what's childhood like? Seriously, what's it like? Well, the world is full of rules, right? Adults are the guards and we're the inmates, right? They tell us when we eat, they tell us when we sleep, they tell us when we shit. This place is a prison, right? That's what it feels like to be a kid sometimes. These are adults and people are scary. That's another thing. People are scary. What do your parents tell you? Be careful. Don't talk to strangers, right? People are scary. We're programmed as little kids. Jesus, anybody new, anybody different? Fear. So this is how we're wired as children. Then we go to school. In school, we adopt what I call the I want fallacy. By the way, all of this is proprietary information. Jared, you're gonna be mad about this. Not one word that I wrote in this is AI. So fuck you, AI. I don't know how to spell this. This is all my original thought. This is brought to you by Fat Cats and I don't know. School, the I want fallacy. What does that mean? It means when we get to school, our programming becomes seeking achievement and seeking approval. I want good grades because I want approval from my teachers. I want to behave well because I don't want to be disciplined. Man, I better fall in line. I want other kids to like me because I don't want to be isolated. I want to blend in because if I don't blend in, then I stand out. That means that I'm weird or I'm different. All of these thoughts get embedded into our head when we're in school. It's what that programming does. The I want. I'll tell you a funny story. One of my first memories, I was probably 5 years old. It was literally recess. There was a girl in my class. I think her name was Shane. I was 5. I'm usually good with names, but this one. And all I remember is I picked a small white flower daisy thing. I walked up and I handed her the flower, and she took it, threw it to the ground, stepped on it, and ran away. And then I didn't talk to a girl for like 15 years. I was just literally like, all right, well, I got blown out at 5. This isn't for me. Yeah. I'm just like, women are fear. And again, this happens. That was my trauma. That happened. Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Where was I? Yeah, that's literally what happened to me. Where was I? Yeah, go the other way. Go the other way. Yeah, thank you, bud. Okay, so that's childhood. Now we get to adulthood. Beautiful, man. We got it all figured out. On adulthood, we run into the I have to fallacy. The I have to fallacy. What does that mean? Well, as an adult, what happens? You go to school, you get a job, and then, well, I have to prove myself. I have to make something out of my life. I got to keep up with everyone else, man. Everyone else got a job and whatever. They're getting married. They're fucking being successful. I got to figure out what's going on with my life. I got to figure out why it's not working. Ultimately leads to, for a lot of us, I have to make some changes because my life isn't going the way I thought it was going to go. And this is the point where some people get lost. Some get lost here, and then their lives end up just toiling, spiraling, failing. But then there's you guys. And I'm glad you're here because you guys got to that point where you're like, all right, I got to make a change. I don't know exactly what needs to happen, but something needs to happen. Listen, for me, it wasn't a quick journey. I was literally, I know people see it now, they can't believe it. Thank God I have friends from back in the day when I couldn't put a sentence together, so they know they're there to tell a story. But I was the farthest thing from an overnight success story. Truthfully, it was through the blood, the sweat, the tears, and the fucking years. It took a lot to become the person that I am today, that I present in front of you. And here's what I finally learned to involve myself into. Now, as I normally do, before I give you the what, the way I like to think is I like to give a quick glimpse into the how, right? Before I tell you what you want to be, I'm going to tell you how I did it. Truthfully, this is how I did it. I became obsessed with people. Literally. How people talk, how people move, how people socialize, how people think. I became obsessed with breaking down human beings. Every interaction that I had, you're running me over here, Jim. Every interaction that I had, I was just learning about human beings. I'm a learner by nature. I like to take in information. Humans were what I like to learn. Other way, Jimbo. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I became and some of this I'm just ad-libbing, but it's the truth. I became a lifelong student of the human condition. I still am, honestly. I'm coaching very differently now than I coached a year ago and a year before that and a year before that. And I feel like I'm continuously getting better at it. And my hope, honestly, in maybe 10, 20 years when I'm old and retired, maybe one of you will be up here giving a revised version of Albert Destrade as the Magnetic Man, in your own words. Seriously. But let's talk about it. That's the how. So now what is the what? Well, a magnetic man, to me, this is what he looks like. A magnetic man is generous to people with his time, with his money, with his energy. He's generous. Next one's a struggle for me. A magnetic man is punctual. This is a true story. I struggle a little bit with punctuality. I'm still getting better at this, but I have to call myself out. A magnetic man is punctual. Okay? A magnetic man is appreciative and conscious of others. He says thank you a lot. He recognizes effort. He realizes when people did for him. He looks people in the eye and says, man, thanks so much. Thank you for doing that. He's appreciative and conscious of others. A magnetic man is prepared and never shows up empty-handed. Hey, man, I got you a little something. Hey, man, I thought about this. Hey, man, can I help you with anything? A magnetic man is calm and collected, right? He seems to have his shit together. Things could go sideways. He's not the first guy to panic. He's the first guy to say, we're going to figure this out. The last one's a big one for me, especially in 2026 and beyond. This is a huge one in today's society. A magnetic man is reliable. Go back up a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. So this is an important point. I don't want to miss this one. a little bit more. There it is. He's reliable. What does that mean? He doesn't flake on people. If he tells you he's going to do something, he shows up. I called myself out on one. I'm going to call some other people out on this one. He does an Irish goodbye. You don't say, hey, where's Albert? Oh, he left. He says, hey, man, I got to go. Hey, have a good night. I'll see you. Accountability, reliability. Okay? In social settings, let's talk about in social settings. A magnetic man is good with names. I told you guys I'll put a name, name tag on. I see a couple of you don't have it. Please do. I've never met a guy who's great socially, especially naturally. I met some coaches, but who isn't great with names. Become amazing with names. I don't have, you guys all know Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, learning names, okay? Magnetic man here's a big one. He brings value more than he takes value. When he's around, things improve. He doesn't take, he brings. Okay? Here's a tricky one. This one took me a while. A magnetic man excels at matching energies. Meaning, he can blend in and have conversations and see eye to eye with people from a lot of walks of life. It can be a business guy. It could be a frat boy. It could be an athlete, a nerd, an old person. Any archetype you want to assign, he can find common ground. He can find commonality. Here's a big one that I see miscoached and misapplied by a lot of you guys. A magnetic man gives the spotlight to others. He doesn't try to perform and be the spotlight. This is a tricky one. It took me a long time to figure this out. When I first started with Jared, we'd be out, we'd be doing all these things, and here's this flashy routine, and here's this thing. That used to work, and that's okay, but people's attention spans are so fucking small. If you try to capture it, they're checked out. But if you give them the spotlight, and they're speaking, they're engaging, they're always going to feel closer to you. Okay. A magnetic man elevates people's moods. He makes them feel better. Okay. Let's talk about lifestyle stuff. How does he live? A magnetic man to me is active physically, right? He goes to the gym. He's in a pickleball league. He does salsa classes. He plays golf. He's moving around. Magnetic man is active socially. He goes to events. He hosts events. He goes out with friends. He goes out to meet friends. He makes connections at work. He makes connections anywhere he goes. He's active socially. A magnetic man is active creatively. I fucking sat there and wrote this speech took me 3.5 hours, and I loved every fucking second of it. That's my form of creativity. I like to write. whatever it is for you. It could be you like to draw, you like to, you know, do stand-up comedy, you like to do improv classes, you like to do anything that gets your creative juices flowing. And lastly, this one's pretty simple, and I think is a big goal for us. Magnetic Man is active romantically. He uses this ability to connect with people from different walks of life to open up doors for his romantic opportunities. So here's my advice to you guys. It's a 3-2-1 rule. Be active 3 days a week, minimum. Go for a walk, go for a jog, lift a weight, do some crunches before bed. So when I saw with Jared, they have a walking desk, right? I don't know where Jared went. He's here somewhere. There's a walking desk. Do something, move 3 times a week. 2 is be somewhere social 2 days a week. Go do cold approach, go meet up with friends, get out of your house and interact with human beings face to face. And one is 1 day a week. Find that creative outlet. It could be improv, it could be stand-up comedy, it could be writing, it could be drawing, it could be painting, designing, blogging, podcasting, movie reviews, food reviews. Do something creative once a week. 3-2-1. Now let's talk about what he looks like and how he carries himself. A magnetic man knows how to carry himself properly. I got to give you guys credit. We've been doing these retreats for years. This is one of the better put together groups that I've seen in terms of your dress, how you carry yourselves. Yeah, 100%. We used to have issues with this stuff all the time. You guys look much fucking better. Seriously. A magnetic man he's well groomed. He smells fresh. If there's facial hair, if there's a haircut, it's consistent. He's got a good fragrance. He's got a good breath. One thing you'll never see me without, anywhere you catch me, never leave home without it, is this guy right here. It's literally a Listerine spray. Because Mitch, you or anyone here can have the best game in the world. You can literally be an actual machine of pickup. If your breath stinks, you're dead. Doesn't matter. Like, man, what happened, Albert? I positioned myself and I said the opener and I'm moving. Dude, you smell like a dragon. Very simple. I carry this. This is my vape. If you don't have, order them on Amazon. They will show up to your house. It's called a Listerine Cool Mint Spray. You put it in your pocket. Gum, I don't like gum. It melts. I don't like mints. They shake. This is a key right here. This will open up doors for you. Okay? He's well dressed. He has clean clothes. He has clean shoes. Unless it's your look and you're going grungy, I'm okay with that. Just basic items, well carried, okay? Here's a controversial one. I saw some people talking about this one, so I had to touch upon it. This is a great quote. I saw this quote and I had to use it. A magnetic man is not easily swayed by the glass. Let's talk about it. The cocktail. Drinking, right? There's been some chatter in the program about the subject, so I figured I wanted to set the record straight on what I think about this. First of all, listen, if you have a history of substance abuse in your family, if you've struggled with addiction, if you've been through some kind of catastrophic issue, bro, put it down. Don't drink. Live your life. And I advocate you to share your story and your pain, and if that's your path of sobriety, you go do you. You know, not an inch, just keep it straight edge. Do your thing. But again, I'm going to go back to that quote. A magnetic man is not easily swayed by the glass. Because for the rest of you, unless you have a proclivity for addiction, here's the deal. Don't be a lush. Don't get hammered. Don't get sloppy. Don't make a scene. Don't need a babysitter, right? None of this is cool. None of this is attractive. Correct. None of this is attractive. None of this will enhance your skills at all, right? None of this. Now, here's what you do want to have. You want to have the ability to handle yourself like a gentleman with class, sophistication, and style. So what does that mean? It means if you meet a beautiful girl and things are going well, and the moment calls for a drink, there is absolutely nothing wrong with having a drink with a woman or a group of friends. Now, again, a magnetic man is not easily swayed by the glass. So here's what I recommend. The rule of three. Okay? A classy gentleman who can fit in any situation should be able to go out and have 1 to 3 drinks and carry yourself well. 1 to 3. That's the number. Are there minor exceptions? Sure. But this is the one time I'm going to focus on the rule and not the exceptions. Okay? The exception, I'll give it to you guys, is maybe we go, on a wild night where you go to multiple venues, maybe you host an after party, you can push it to 3 to 5. But really, it's the rule of 3, 1 to 3, 3 being the central number. Okay? The idea is this, guys, on drinking. Drinking should not define you. Drinking should not be your crux. Okay? Drinking should not be the center of your social personality. To the same side of that, not drinking should not be your personality. If I don't drink, I don't need to push that shit on other people. Everyone here is different. Bless you. Everyone here is different. So I don't like this universal advice of, I don't drink, no one drinks. It's not how life works, right? That's not how a magnetic man operates. That's how a manipulative man operates, okay? If you're, that's not drinking is not that's not a personality. You know what your personality is? Who you are. You. That's your personality, right? What you like, what you're about. You don't need to create a persona to match something. Okay, rule of 3, glad we cleared that up. Okay. Lastly, a magnetic man looks to elevate those around him instead of taking credit for himself. Jarrett kind of like stole my thunder on this one. You almost nailed it, which was really impressive. But the truth is, the most successful people I've ever met are almost always the most humble. I'll let you guys in on a little secret. The more someone tells you how great they are, generally, the more full of shit they are. The more someone brags about themselves, the more that person is literally tone deaf. My example was, imagine you're at a party and I think he said Leonardo DiCaprio, or is Jared? Tom Brady, one of these guys. If he walked in and just started talking about, man, how cool am I, or all these accomplishments, you'd literally be like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Why is he, how insecure, what you would think is, how insecure is he? That I know how cool he is, and now he's explaining it to me. That's not magnetic. That's weird, and it's tone deaf.
Does that kind of go along the line of the saying that the quietest person in the room usually has the most going on for them?
Yeah. Yes. Dave, that's a good perspective, right? It's a guy that has accomplishments, that's successful, that has it, doesn't need to get into that. We're going to get to that in a second, how I describe that. Come on in, the water's fine. Now, granted, listen, we're not them. We're not those guys. I know a lot of us, we are not, Leonardo DiCaprio, Johnny Depp, all those people. Jimbo, get me cooking here. But that being said, sorry, I just wanted to, I took a lot of passion in what I wrote, so I wanted not to miss anything because of my memory. But let's talk about that, David. You just brought that up, right? What did you say the quietest guy in the room is what?
The quietest person in the room usually has the most going on for them.
Correct. And the way I would describe that is a grounded, subtle, non-try-hard energy, right? It's very grounded, it's very quiet, and it's very subtle. Jim, can we do that? Can we pull that clip up real quick? The video. Oh wait, go back a couple steps here. I missed something. Can we go back or no? Back one more. Can we keep going back? I missed a couple of things. Just I was back. One more back. Or there we go. Okay, cool. I missed this manipulative part, so I'm going to give it to you now. Feel free to steal this, by the way. Something I would do on first dates is I noticed that on first dates, what happens? People present the best version of themselves, right? So I'd get into a conversation. Before you start reading, I'm going to break it. I'm going to read it with you in a second. So just stay on me for 1 second here. Notice that people start to bring the best version of themselves. It's a Chris Rock joke, right? Where you're not really meeting them, you're meeting the representative. So I'd always make this joke on first dates. And I'd say, you know what's funny, man? People come to first dates and they always try to be like this best version of themselves. I think it should be the opposite. I think we should tell each other our worst qualities. And if you can handle that, you're gonna fucking love me. And then I'd tell the girls, honestly, I put together a list. And they're like, no, you didn't. I'm like, yeah, I wrote a list. And they're like, no, you didn't. I'm like, here it is. So here are my 10 worst things about Albert Destrade. Literally, the list is from June 2018. So first one is, I'm typically a poor time manager and struggle with punctuality with anything non-work related. Still tracks. Raven will love this one. I'm America's worst around a household. No culinary or domestic skills to speak of other than very low laundry aptitude. Oh, damn. I got worse. All right. I am not handy whatsoever. Am not good at figuring out anything that needs elbow grease or how to fix or assemble. Raven? Confirmed. You guys will love this one. I'm terrible with technology. Shocking. Particularly anything computer, program, software related. I got a lot better at that one. JK. Here's where it gets a little bit better, or a little deeper. I have a very high standard that I hold for myself in a lot of areas in my life. In relationships, I have a tendency to apply high standards to others that maybe are not fair or realistic because people don't operate the way I do. Little introspective on that. I am quick to trust people and give them the benefit of the doubt. I have a very inclusive mindset that can get me in trouble at times. When dealing with groups of people, I have a desire to make everyone happy, people pleasing, some of you might do that, which often makes me overextend myself and end up making no one happy, most notably myself. Jim, can you go to the other slide, the shorter one? There you go, beautiful. Okay, that's that one. I'm absent-minded with menial tasks and things that are not related to my work or very serious social event. I will forget a bunch of little things. That's why I tell you a lot of guys to remind me things. And then here's the big one. This is where as I look back, I'm like, oh, this was like when I was using these powers and maybe being manipulative. Is I imagine that oftentimes I use my understanding of charm and schmoozing to become manipulative. Although this doesn't affect me personally, and I don't set out with ill intentions with any of it, I can see how it can be unfair to others. True statement, right? It's why you want to use these abilities to influence people for good reasons, as opposed to using manipulation and emotion to influence people for your gain. If you ever feel someone using emotional effects to manipulate you, run from that human being. They do not have your best interest at heart. Okay. Sorry, I forgot I skipped that. That's why I didn't want to forget. Memory's on here. It's a bad one. Cool. So slide a little bit. Can we go to that video real quick? Right here, that one. Before we go, so this is a comic I really like. His name is Neil Brennan, and he co-created the Chappelle Show. Anyone know the Chappelle Show? And I noticed something, and I noticed from a lot of successful people, is when they come on that point where they're going to talk about their big thing, they usually kind of yada yada or run through it quickly. And you'll see how he literally does it right here, right? So play this. He talks about his first movie he wrote with Dave Chappelle. I guess Lord of the Lights, that was good. It may or may not work. If it doesn't work, I will share the clip. You saw point number 8. I'm not good with technology.
Ego and adrenaline.
Dave.
So I basically just set out to try to achieve a bunch of shit to give myself a surge of good feeling. So like I got into NYU Film School, which was a miracle that time.
Can you pause?
Ended up dropping out after 6 months. But that was a huge.
I just want you to notice the pace and cadence of which he speaks about everything. And then when he hits his biggest thing, he kind of zooms over it like no big deal. Notice that. Just pay attention for that. Ready? Go.
A good feeling. So like I got into NYU Film School, which was a miracle at that time. I had still got my SATs. Ended up dropping out after 6 months, but that was a huge rush of adrenaline. Then I ended up working at a comedy club, not as a comedian, just as a door guy, taking tickets and barking for people to get in. But I also started giving comedians, like actual working comedians, little tags for their act, like, hey, try saying this or try saying that.
Pause.
And that just
So at this point, he has no success. He's a door guy at a comedy club, but he's actually explaining what made him feel good about that, about a really small job and a really small purpose, and how that made him feel good. Keep playing.
And that, to see my jokes work on stage was a huge burst for me. Then I started getting real writing jobs, but real is a big word. But I wrote for MTV Single Out. You're welcome.
Pause. Self-deprecating humor, right? Not take yourself too seriously. It's like, all right, I work for this stupid show. No big deal, right? The ability to not take yourself too seriously. Okay, continue.
I wrote for all that on Nickelodeon. And then when I was 23, made a short Half Baked. So at this point, my
Pause.
system of keeps.
So when he mentions the biggest accomplishment, he goes, when I was 23, I wrote Half Baked. Anyway, what that does is that's the opposite of what these try-hard guys do, where they're bragging, hey, man, I did this really cool thing. When people, especially women, are very perceptive of this stuff, this is a subtle, very grounded, low-key, confident energy. Show me the next one.
When did you first meet Dave Chappelle? When did that happen?
I met him in 1991. I was 18. We were both 18,
Right.
and I was a doorman at a comedy club. I was going to NYU Film School, and I was a doorman at a comedy club. And he and I were like the only people that were 18.
That's it?
On Earth.
No, we were it was an older,
Not
Sure.
older, but mid to late 20s.
So that's how you
And
connected.
he and I like were like, hey, yeah.
Okay.
And then we started writing stuff together a little bit, and then we wrote Half Baked, the movie Half Baked, and then we wrote, and then we did Chappelle Show, and we wrote it, and I directed.
And then we did Chappelle Show, right? Keep playing. Yeah, you can play from there.
Yeah, by the way, that's a great yada yada yada. It's just like, oh, yeah, then there was a Chappelle show.
And the host actually calls him out.
I know it seems braggy to be
It's
like,
not
I don't know if
braggy.
you heard, but
Well, I brought it up.
no, you sure did.
I brought it up because obviously I'm fascinated by something that
How could
is
you not?
so
Yeah, it is
iconic.
objectively fascinating.
It is objectively fascinating and completely iconic to be part of something like that.
I think we're one of the greatest shows of all time.
That's a pretty part of
You
something.
guys brought it up.
I know.
Right.
So
Pause there. So that's the beauty of this thing. He kind of yada yadas whatever the big thing, and then the listener's like, wait, no, I want more of that, right? It's almost like you take it away. They want to invest. They want to know what that is. They're very perceptive of this. All right, so we're talking about the quiet. That's a quiet and subtle confidence. Okay. Let's circle back. At the very beginning of this, guys, I asked you to write something on this clipboard. All right, let's go back to what we wrote. Okay. Dylan, tell me one of the things that you wrote. One of your two things.
I wrote successful, hardworking, and then healthy. Were my two things I was scripted about.
Okay. Brian, give me your two things.
I wrote intelligent and hardworking.
Okay. Robert, give me your two things.
Integrity and emotional intelligence.
Okay. Ryan, give me your two things.
Athletic and fix pretty much anything mechanical.
Can fix anything mechanical. Okay. Cool.
You guys are complimenting.
Yeah.
Except I suck at technology, so we're so screwed.
Hello.
So, Varun, give me your two things.
Working hard at something and achieving it and being kind.
Working hard at stuff and achieving it and being kind. Okay. So you guys are doing a pretty good job of identifying things you believe in. Let's flip that page over and let's look at the other side real quick. Chris, what does yours say?
Communication and relationships.
Okay. As a reminder, I asked you guys to write something down that you don't feel you're confident in right now, but eventually you'd like to be. Communication and relationships. Okay. Vinkash? My body. Okay. Tony? Protein? Okay. Send me. Oh, sorry. I thought I said protein. I'm like body. I was like protein, man. I got a bunch here. Approaching. Okay, that's a good one. I like that one. That's a good answer. That was me a long time ago. I'm with you on that one. Say me. Calibration. It's a great fucking answer. Okay. Andy? You want to improve on the ability to trust your instincts. I like that. Okay. Mitch?
Time management, and organizational skills.
David?
Social circle.
Social circle. These are great goals, guys, and I relate with a lot of them. But before we look at that big picture, I want you to just take a half a step back, right, to how we get to those goals. Confidence, and that subtle confidence is a big part of this. And I hate when you see these shitty, I'm just going to call them what they are, these shitty dating coaches say, just be confident, believe in yourself. You know, you can do it. All this like empty, non-actionable fluff. So here's what I would like for you guys to do. I would like you to display confidence in some really short-term things that will help you get to your big goal. So what if you had confidence in the fact that you right now are doing what 99.9% of the world is not doing? There's a lot more nines there, but I'm not a math guy. What if you had confidence in that? That you being here puts you ahead of the curve? What if you have confidence in the fact that others have been down this road, it's proven, and it's achievable? So I can get there. If others have done it, I can do it as well. What if you have confidence in saying, there's a guy right now speaking to you who in my wildest fucking dreams could never imagine I'd be doing this in front of this group. But I found it, I unlocked it, I opened it. So if this guy can do it, you guys can do it. What if you had confidence in that? I'll leave you guys with this. I want to give you permission to carry that quiet confidence and take your first step at becoming the man that you truly want to become. Thank you guys so much.